Whoever is listening, guys, welcome back. My name is Grayson Mann, and this is the Man with the Plan podcast, episode 91. 9 episodes away from 100 episodes, guys. The Golden State Warriors have won yet another NBA championship. So, if you know me personally, you know this is going to be a little bit of a tough one to make. But regardless, I got to come out and make a championship video reaction. We started doing it with the Bucks when they won. We did it with the Rams. I'm going to do it with Golden State. So, feels like I'm in eighth grade again. The Golden State Warriors brought down the Boston Celtics 4-2 in the NBA Finals, winning in TD Garden. In Game 6, Steph Curry, here's your Finals MVP. The Warriors have solidified any talks or any doubts of a dynasty. It is all there for them. How I'm going to kind of break this up is I'm not going to do separate episodes or separate clips for this one, I think. I'm just going to kind of do a very raw reaction. Maybe it'll be 15-minute video just about Golden State's journey. We're going to talk about Boston for a little bit, about where they can go from here, and just kind of focus on that. Probably do that right now in the beginning. And then I want to talk about the Warriors as a dynasty, Curry all time, stuff like that. So very much like my other championship videos, very raw reaction. We're going to go back to our regular scheduled stuff where I'll make different videos for different segments, but I think I'm going to keep this one, at least for the YouTube side of things, a little under control this time. And it's also getting late. And I have a little bit of an issue with my, there's a little bit throat issue that I've been dealing with. So I kind of want to get that out the way. But yeah, this one's definitely stings if you're a Boston fan. But it's just there's perspective for sure. I want to just start by 18. You start at 18 and 21, new head coach to start the season in Ime Udoka. A lot of doubts, a lot of question marks. They started 18 and 21 to begin the season, including me. It was like, this is not it. This is certainly not where I thought this team was headed. They make an incredible run, finish second in the East, and get through Kevin Durant, Giannis, Jimmy Butler to get to the finals. They ran into the championship DNA of the Golden State Warriors, which we'll talk about in a second. I had the Warriors in 7, so take one more game and I was right. But I thought that experience was eventually going to matter, and it really showed tonight. But I think for Boston, just bring it back, run this team back, ride that momentum that you've built, use this pain from this finals loss. There's not much else you can say. It's some games with sloppy basketball, making it harder on yourselves. Maybe we'll find out more information on what Tatum's situation is, because he honestly had the worst series I've ever seen him play in his life. Over 100 turnovers in the playoffs in general. Just a lot of times where it just seemed mentally out of it, mentally just checked out of certain games. Just kind of when it wasn't all there, he kind of took a step back, and guys like Jaylen Brown or Grant Williams in Game 7 take over. Al Horford in Game 4 against Milwaukee. So just certain things need to be fixed. Tatum needs to be mentally stronger going into this next season. But as a Celtics fan, they've got a chance to be back, but we'll see how the East, they got the Nets to deal with. They got the Bucks, an improved Cavs team. Miami's going to be Miami. They're going to be solid. There's just Philadelphia. There's a lot of teams. Toronto can make a run. I hope that didn't affect the audio, me just smacking the microphone there. But there's a lot to be excited about if you're a Boston fan. These opportunities come very few and far between, but we'll see how it progresses. And now this is the talk of Golden State and just how this even came to be. I remember when Kevin Durant joined the Golden State Warriors and they won back-to-back titles against a LeBron Cavs team that was severely outmatched, severely overwhelmed. And I think there was a sense that if KD were to take off, there was going to be a little bit of a drop off. And there was a 2-year period where Golden State was terrible. And I think that the main focus here is this homegrown vibe that both of these teams had in the finals. You had Boston, who built in from the draft. You had Golden State, who kind of shied away from that with Kevin Durant, but ended up building this core of Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry. That has always been consistent. That has always been there for them, and it showed up tonight, and it showed up in this final series and this final run. And so I think there you have to really commend a lot of stuff. Bob Myers, the owner, the GM of the Warriors, this patience, because you could have easily said, "Hey, we got 3 championships out of this core. Let's blow it up and start over." You had Curry pretty much carry this team to a play-in tournament game against LeBron and the Lakers, and there was hey, if they could get Klay Thompson back and get maybe one more piece, this could be a team to really watch out for. And getting Andrew Wiggins ended up being significant, especially in the series. His defense against Jason Tatum is going to go unnoticed for sure, with Steph Curry taking the Finals MVP and him being the focus of the conversation. But this is a team that's not going to just drop off. This isn't their last go around at this. Steph Curry, he's 34, but he's still balling out. He's still playing insane. Draymond Green maybe has maybe 1 or 2 years left in him where he can still play at a high level, getting in people's heads, getting in people's faces, playing high level defense. Klay Thompson can shoot the ball really well. I think those 2 years might affect him in the future, but maybe they can get another run out of it. There's just a lot for Golden State that's going for them, and it's just that consistency. Klay, Dre, and Steph. There's not much to it. And they could have easily blown this up. They could have just chalked it up and said, hey, we got our trophies. Durant left, and the team's kind of in shambles. Curry could have said, hey, this isn't working out anymore. Him staying these 2 years, he's a Golden State Warrior for life. I don't see him going anywhere else. One of the greatest players of all time, for sure. We were talking about it last year with Giannis, just how these kind of finals performances elevate your legacy. For Curry getting that finals MVP, no longer can anyone say, hey, well, we didn't have finals MVP. Did he step up when it really mattered? No, Curry was fantastic this entire series, besides one game in game 5, and his team picked up the pieces around him. Andrew Wiggins, specifically 26 and 13. But this is a run for Golden State that I think in large cases that, like, if you have a certain couple things go your way, this could be the 6th Golden State championship with this core. You have a 3-1 lead that could have been easily avoidable, or collapse that could have been avoidable. And you have just unfortunate injuries with Durant and Thompson in a Toronto series where they were the much better team, for sure, with that core, with Durant, Curry, and Klay, and Dre, for sure. So there's a lot of things you can look at and say, hey, maybe we could be one of the best dynasties of all time. This is no doubt, in my mind, anymore a dynasty. This isn't just a thing where they added one of the best players of all time in Durant and got a couple championships out of it, and that was the Golden State Warrior legacy. This is a series, and this is a title that showed that this core still had it. This core is really the seeds that they planted back in 2014, 2015 to get to this point. That part never changed. That part was always consistent. That big 3 of Golden State. And it took all 3 of them. Draymond Green had a great game tonight. Klay Thompson, he was fine tonight, but it was really about Steph Curry, who wins his finals MVP. Where does he rank all time? Has the same amount of trophies as LeBron, not as much MVPs or anything like that, but I think in terms of offensive, just prowess and skill, he might be the best player I've ever seen in my life. I certainly think I don't have a list, and I could make one if you guys want to see some more NBA stuff this offseason. But Curry's got to be in your top 10. And just what he does, his character, his legacy, his leadership, his overall skill, just being able to do what he does, adding a lot of more depth to his game, being able to drive, being able to do a lot of certain things, finding those matchups, searching those matchups for sure. It's insane. You just got to kind of, even if you are a Celtics fan like me, who's just in so much pain right now, you just got to take a look at it and kind of just admire for what it is. Admire it for what it is. It's a historical run. We'll be looking back on this in a couple decades, watching my friends talking about tonight at our watch party, looking at these kind of things in 30, 20 years from now, going like, man, you were there for that. You were there for that history. So congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. It's title number 7 overall, title number 4 for this core. Not much else you can say other than that, guys. This was episode 91. I'm sorry if this was a little disorganized. I wanted it to be raw, kind of a more my thoughts on this stuff. In terms of what this podcast is going to do moving forward, the NBA playoffs have been a big chunk of this content for a long time. We can try to go back to football if there's something there. I'm going to try to get a couple interviews with the class of 2023 Clemson football. That is still an active pursuit. These guys are tough to get a hold of, but I'm trying my best. Clemson baseball hired their new coach. We'll certainly talk about that in the future. I have a couple things I have planned, and I have a couple topics on the Lakers. I want to do something about Boston more in depth. So maybe that's one more basketball episode, and then we'll start moving to form. Wimbledon is coming up, so there's a lot of stuff happening. If we want to talk Stanley Cup Finals, we can do that too. This is an episode where I really need you guys to drop your thoughts. If you've listened through the entire way, drop your thoughts below. What you want to hear next? What kind of episodes do you want leading up to 100th episode of the podcast? It's crazy. Another big sport comes and goes, and it's just a part of the process. Happy to be doing it for the second time, this is the second go around of this. So unbelievable ride, unbelievable journey, guys. Thank you so much as always for listening. Subscribe for more. Shout us out on Instagram. Shout us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Thank you so much. This has been an incredible journey. I love covering this stuff for you guys. Not the result I exactly wanted, but one I can appreciate for sure. As always, thank you. Subscribe for more. Let us know what you want to hear below, and leave some feedback as always. Thank you guys. Take care.